Oh, hi everyone. Hi friends. Kelly McClure. Can't wait to talk about our topic tonight. Let the work begin. Okay. Well, welcome to our show, Mastering the Charmed Life. I'm Kelly McClure, your host, and we are live tonight. And so there's a couple things you guys can know. One is that I do see a live feed from my Facebook Live platform. So if you see me talking to or responding to people that are asking questions or making comments, that's why I'm not talking to myself. I'm talking to them. And you can reach us by our Facebook page if you like. Psychic Medium Kelly McClure. Check out our new merch line on at my website. Is there a link on the website?
Yeah,
there's a link.
A whole page
On the website about our merchandise. So that is the kind of work that I do. That's not what we're doing tonight. Tonight we're talking about creating and mastering the charmed life. And that's what I've been working on. I really do believe that I live a charmed life no matter what. But there's so many aspects to creating and mastering that charmed life that I wanted to share with you guys. Because it kind of ebbs and flows and it goes in stages. And sometimes it all works really well. And sometimes it feels like it's not working at all. And so I wanted to share my struggle with you. As you may know, if you tuned into our show last week, for the past 3 years, I've been going through a really hard time and a really, really deep depression. And I haven't been treating myself all that well. I haven't been able or even willing to take care of myself as well as I should going through this. Suffered lots of great, tremendous losses that were personal to me in my life. And I really want to come out of it. I want to get back to being myself and really enjoying my life and sharing my light with others and helping them enjoy their lives and getting back to the charmed life that I had created over the years, going through literally unspeakable turmoil in my past and conquering so much. And I'm not ready to give up yet. And I really am working very, very hard to come out of this dark night of the soul, if that's what you want to call it. And I know that there's so much going on the planet right now that each of us are going through our own personal struggle in the midst of trying to deal with everything that's going on around us in the world. And that's kind of going to be part of it, because I believe that there is a reason for everything. Everything that happens, everything that's happened globally is not only for our collective consciousness, but for our personal consciousness. So I think each of us has something we have to go through right now that we can grow from and learn from. And the faster we do it, then the faster we're going to come out of it. That's what I'm trying to do. So I was going to record a segment for you this week, cooking a charmed meal. We did a lot of recording. And one of the things about living a charmed life is to accept failure when it happens. And we completely failed on that. But I'm not beating myself up. Instead, I am trusting the universe to bring me to you at the right and perfect time in the right and perfect way. And this is what we're doing tonight. And we're going to have a lot of cool segments coming up. We'll iron out all of the kinks in our show. And it's going to be really fun. We've got a lot of cool things planned. So what I wanted to share with you this week is that there's a principle of the universe that says, and by the way, I can't see anything on my screen right now. There's a principle of the universe that says, what we resist persists. So the idea of living a charmed life is that when you do face pain and struggle, that you move through it rather than resisting it. And it often happens when you make the declaration that I'm going to make a change in my life. I want things to be different. I'm going to make a change. what the universe says is, are you sure? So if you say, okay, universe, I'm going to live a charmed life. I'm going to get healthy. I'm going to start eating better. I'm going to, get this certain job and I'm going to apply for that. Well, the universe comes back with, are you sure? And this is what people talk about, how you get tested, like how you have to, like move through all these tests, and that the universe tests you. I don't really think that it's the universe or an outside force that's testing you, but I'll get there in a moment of what I think it actually really is. So bear with us, guys. We're still learning about all the kinks in our system here. I'm working on a computer I haven't worked on before, and my entire screen just went away. So I don't know where it is. This is a Mac, and it's my daughter's. And thank you, Lauren, for lending me your beautiful computer. As mine, I was having some trouble with it. And oh my gosh, I just love live videos. This is really funny. This is really fun.
Just keep talking.
Okay, so the universe is telling me as I'm declaring that I want my health back. I want my charm life back. Not back the way it was, but going forward, even something greater and newer. I want to focus on my work. I want to create all this new stuff. I'm determined to do it regardless of the struggles that's happening because of it. And yeah, I'm getting some kickback from the universe, and it's saying, are you sure? So hold on one second. Do you want to look?
Do you want me to go in here?
Sure.
Yeah,
I already told him we were having technical difficulties. Oh, it's back. I got it myself. All right. I can figure some things out. So the universe is kicking back saying, are you sure? And here's why I think it does this. Okay. A lot of the things that I need to be doing to take better care of myself are not things that I grew up automatically with. We had, kind of your typical, I don't know if it's typical, but a dysfunctional family with lots and lots of challenges, and, everybody did the best they could, but there was some stuff going on in our family growing up. I won't go into the whole story of that, but it wasn't automatic that self-care was part of the routine in our family when we were really little. That just wasn't an automatic thing. It was really more of a day-to-day survival situation. And we were just trying to get through the day, and we were just, overcoming, chaos and depression. My parents, just a lot of stuff going on. And so self-care was not an automatic thing that you grew up with from the time I was born as a baby. It just wasn't. So if that's not part of your automatic routine, self-care, when you get to be an adult and suddenly that becomes your responsibility to care for yourself, it's not automatically going to kick in as automatic routine. You're not going to get up at 6 o'clock every morning, brush your teeth, take a shower, cook yourself a healthy meal, go jogging, whatever. If you've never been programmed to make that part of your automatic system, if your house and your life was very chaotic growing up and all you really wanted to do was hide under the bed or hide under the house or just try to get through the day and amongst the chaos and dysfunction, then it's going to take some time. It's going to take some reprogramming for you to help it become part of your daily life. And gosh, I don't even know if it ever gets really automatic. This is really funny. There, I just kicked on Lisa. So, I love rock and roll, and I love when the universe throws me curveballs. This is really fun. I don't know if Mercury's in retrograde or what, but as you can see, I'm going to remain charming and have a good time with you tonight, no matter what. So I don't know if you can hear the air, but it just went off. So here's how this works. Your self-care may not be automatic. You may be beating yourself up because you're not taking care of yourself that you should in order to create what it is you want. I would like for you to put the bat down. If you're not taking care of yourself the way that you should in order to create what it is that you want, or that's in line with what you want, well, beating yourself up is not going to help. Beating yourself up prevents you from having the energy and the focus to get back in line with what it is you want to create. So don't beat yourself up. Put the bat down. That's number one. So no matter what we screw up on or how many challenges come up, put the bat down. I was not raised with self-care being an automatic thing for me. And so I didn't know how to do it when I got older. And the repercussions of that is that if you're not in line with self-care, if you're not in line with discipline and a routine that creates what you want in your life, then you don't get to have what you want in your life until you get back in line with that. And to do that, you've got to make some changes. And that's the changes you want to declare to the universe. So when the universe hears you say, okay, I want to live a charmed life, I want a healthy body, I'm going to make these changes. The pushback isn't the universe saying, no, you can't have that until you pass this test. The pushback is that we have to rewrite our own consciousness. Your consciousness is still in the old state of being. Your consciousness is still programmed the way it has been all this time up until now. So to rewrite that consciousness, to begin to create the vibes that go out into the universe and draw to you the things you want, is sometimes, I'm not going to use the word difficult, but it certainly requires some work. And you can do it. Everybody can do it. I really think this is the part that people, become hopeless about, because they don't realize that they can do it. They see life as something, and I totally used to see it this way, that life was something that happened to me. Part of it was because of growing up, that's what happened. It happens to you. As a kid, you don't have a lot of control. Now, I do believe in a higher spiritual principle about that, but in a human lifetime, kids don't have a lot of control over what happens in their life. And so, yeah, it feels like life is coming at you and that you really don't have a lot of say-so in it. But the moment you begin to take responsibility, and the moment you start to say, you know what, even if I didn't know any better and I created this mess myself because I really wasn't trained or wasn't brought up a different way or didn't do it differently, even if that's true, I'm still responsible for it. I created this mess. So let me give you a little example about that, because it can be really, really powerful if you can get this principle. When I was a kid, I was a babysitter, and I babysat 4 kids, and 2 of them were little boys. And these little boys were about 2 years apart, about 4 and 6 years old. And one day they went out back to play, and I was doing the dishes so I could see out the back window in the backyard. And the younger one, the 4-year-old, for some reason, he decided that it was a good idea to pee on his brother's bicycle. So I'm thinking, he must be angry at his brother for some reason. So but I also thought, well, gee, that's creative way to get back at his brother. So they had a little fight, and so I was required to put them in timeout as the babysitter. So I put them in their room, set the timer for 5 minutes, put them in timeout. I heard a lot of noise in there, but I didn't go in there because nobody was screaming or crying or getting hurt or anything, but I did hear some noise. But when the timer went off and I walked into their bedroom, it was a disaster. Everything was off the floor, out of the drawers, off the shelves, all over, off the bed, everywhere. These kids had gone in that room in 5 minutes and tore the whole room apart. And I walked in, I think I was about 14 years old. So to have this presence of mind at 14, especially when I wasn't raised this way, I would have gotten in a lot of trouble for something like that. But I walked in and I'm looking around this room, and the thought occurred to me just to not freak out, to not overreact. And I looked around the room and I said, wow, this is impressive. And they kind of looked at me like, wow, we're not getting in trouble. Like, she's not mad. And I go, you guys are so powerful. Look at what you have created in 5 minutes. You have created the biggest mess I've ever seen in a bedroom in only 5 minutes. That's how powerful you are. I'll bet if you can make this big a mess in only 5 minutes, I wonder if you guys could clean it all up in 4 minutes. And they're like, yeah, we can do it. I go, okay, let me get the timer. And I go, on your mark, get set, go. And I set the timer for 4 minutes. And I left the room and I heard them in there scrambling. And they did the best they could. I mean, of course, it wasn't perfect, but they put everything back in 4 minutes. Now, if I had gone in there and punished them and picked up a baseball bat and hit them with it saying, look at what you've done and you're bad, and they would have been filled with shame and guilt and who knows what. They would have felt horrible. And that would not have given them the power to clean up this entire mess in 4 minutes. So instead, I realized that they really were powerful. I was serious when I said that was an impressive mess. I didn't think any two kids could do that much damage in 5 minutes. I was impressed. But I saw it as a positive thing because they did have so much power. And if they could accept that they're the ones who did this, that they're the ones who made the mess, and that they have the power themselves to clean it up. I'm not going to go in there and clean up their mess for them. And we kind of have to see that with our own lives, whatever the wreckage of our past, whatever mess we've created. As much as we pray, God's not going to come down. God is not a codependent God. The universe isn't going to come in and clean up your mess for you. But it will assist you in any way that you need as long as you take responsibility. So number one is, yep, I made this mess. Even my own depression. And I have compassion for my depression. I have reached out for help. I receive and love and honor that so many people are supporting me in this. But it is my depression. Nobody handed it to me. Nobody gave it to me. Nobody forced it upon me. Just like when I was broke and poor, my poverty was not something that just befell upon me. My poverty was something I was actively creating, and I didn't know I was doing it. And most of us don't know that we're the ones somehow in charge and creating our own depression. But the good news is, if we can accept that responsibility, then we have the power to get out of it. If it's somebody else's fault, then cleaning it up is somebody else's responsibility and it'll never get done. So that's the first thing we have to do, is accept responsibility for whatever state of consciousness we have and whatever state we're in and whatever level of depression or state of mind we're in too. So financially, and I'm not saying there aren't circumstances that contribute to our financial situation, or that some people aren't, born into fortunate circumstances and some people aren't. I get all that. But if you can still understand that everything that you do, think, believe, and take action on creates, you're a creative being. So I'm taking responsibility for my depression. It doesn't mean I can snap out of it just like that, but I'm taking responsibility for it. And that responsibility is going to allow me to have the power and the creative resources to change it. So that's the first thing. And that's why consciousness creates. That's why if you're in the same state of consciousness, you're going to create the same things. So rather than worry about trying to find the right drug, I'm a doctor. I'm not saying nobody should take medication for what they need it for, but I'm going to try everything else first. So I'm not looking for a fix. I'm looking for a shift in consciousness in myself. So first, I'm going to take responsibility. Yes, I've created this depression within me. I have plenty of reasons I can state for doing it. I have a lot of grief going on that's also mine that I can deal with, but it's mine. And the second part, and this is where I get to move into the creation of changing that dynamic, changing that consciousness, and continuing to create my charmed life, is that I can ask for help. I can ask for help. I can ask for support. And I can take action on that. And that requires working with other people. It requires accepting help. It requires reaching out. For a long time, I've just been isolating in my room because I didn't want to put my stuff on other people. How many of us tell ourselves that we don't want to put our shit on other people, so we're going to isolate until the depression goes away? It wasn't going away that way. It just wasn't happening. So I'm asking for help. So for the past few days, I've been staying at my niece's house, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that on another episode, but she's going to do some cooking shows with me because she's committed to pulling herself out of it as well. So we're going to support each other in doing that. We're also reaching out to support groups and things like that. We're working every day, doing our journaling, taking responsibility for ourselves, asking ourselves each and every day, where have I been fearful today? Where have I been deceitful today? And where have I been resentful today? Those three things, holding on to that energy, will always sink you back down. So if we can clear that energy away and take responsibility for it, we can help lift ourselves up. So we're working on that together. So it's consistent action. So asking for support, making a plan and taking consistent action, and having the willingness to do it every day. Now, I don't think I will always have the willing to do it every single day, but today I do. So great, let's do it today. And on a day I don't have the willingness, I can ask for some more support to say, I just don't feel like, taking a walk today. Can you take a walk with me? Maybe that'll get me outside. So again, asking for help, making an action plan, committing to that action plan, and being consistent and willing. If all you can do today is pray for the willingness to be willing, do that. So now that I've taken responsibility for my own depression and I'm reaching out and asking for help, I'm beginning to change the consciousness. One of the things that I've been experiencing, even before I started kind of this new food plan and getting working my plan to get out of depression, I was suffering from severe insomnia. So I still suffer from severe insomnia. I've done a couple videos at night that I'll show you at another time about just night after night of going, okay, it's 3 a.m. and I haven't fallen asleep yet. And the night before last, my manager, Lisa, got me some over-the-counter sleep aid, which I took, and it knocked me out, and I actually slept for a few hours. Not the whole night through, but I got some sleep for the first time in at least a week and a half. Last night, took the same exact dose, nothing happened. I didn't get any sleep. So this is one of my struggles. And it's something that I'm going through right now. And I was starting to get depressed about that, of like, sleep deprivation is like it when you're, and anyone out there suffering from insomnia, my heart goes out to you, because when it goes on day after day after day, at some point you just sort of become like this zombie, and the other day before yesterday, before I or maybe it was the day before that, I literally was starting to fall asleep standing up. I was standing in the kitchen at my niece's house. She was getting her son's dinner ready, and my eyes started to close, and I started to kind of like lose my balance. And I kind of woke up and caught the counter. I think it was lunchtime, because then I said to her, I think I might be sleepy enough to sleep. I'm going to go lay down and take a nap. No sleep came. So yesterday I was riding in a car. I forget where I was going. It might've been this morning. See, I can't even keep track of my days. I'm so sleepy. I don't know which day it was, but I was riding in the car. Oh, it was this morning. I was on my way to my hairdresser, and I'm riding in the car, and I'm looking out the window, and I'm like, I was so sleepy. I didn't even want to go get my hair done. And I'm like, I just can't even keep my eyes open, during the day. At night I can. And I started feeling sorry for myself. And it literally was like getting to the point where I'm so sleep deprived and so frustrated with this that I'm tearing up. And then I look out the window, and I started thinking about problems on a global scale. And I specifically, I was thinking about the explosion that happened in Beirut a few weeks back. and how much that affected my heart, what's happening with these people in Beirut. And I'm looking out the window, and I'm, of course, right by a glass window. And I was thinking, I was driving out in like Menifee, and there was this big like hill of just like a big dirt hill out in the desert. And I'm like, if that thing was the explosion that blew up at us and caused this window to shatter and the car just to like how, and then I was one of those people coming out of my car all cut up with glass with the whole world around me destroyed. And I have a very good imagination. I can really visualize stuff. And I was really going through it. Like, my God, like I'm worried about my little lack of sleep when people are suffering in this way all over the world right now, and things are happening. And I really put it in perspective so what if I'm a little bit sleepy? Like, I'll get through this. I will get through this. And if I continue on my path. So here's where the universe says, are you sure? Because I'm sure that, part of my little food plan right now is no wine at night, or no cocktails at night to help me sleep. So I'm sure that the universe, so I said to the universe, I'm not going to use any substance like that to sleep. I'm going to get through this. And the universe is like, are you sure? And of course, then you see all the great wine commercials and all, and if I just had a glass of wine, I'd be able to sleep. So, but I'm saying yes, for right now, for today and for tomorrow. Yes, I'm sure. And that's what I think is happening. So as I change my consciousness, as my health gets better, I will find the solutions to sleep. I'm sure of it. Before you guys make suggestions, and by the way, I'm not seeing any feed, so I don't know if anybody's asking questions or whatever. Before you guys make suggestions, let me tell you what I have tried, because if you have an answer out there that I haven't tried, I'd be open to suggestions. I've tried melatonin. I've tried exercise before bed. I've tried hypnosis. I've tried guided meditations. I've tried even some yoga positions. I've tried listening to the sleep music. I've tried reading before bed. I've tried getting up and walking around the house and going back to bed. What haven't I tried? I've tried essential oils. I've tried the mask with the lavender in it. I've tried massages, being in my jacuzzi. Oh my gosh. One night I was in my jacuzzi and I was like literally falling asleep in my jacuzzi. And I thought, this is it. I'll go right to bed and fall asleep. Tried that. Tried everything I can think of and everything that's been suggested. And so I'm leaving it to the universe now. It's going to work itself out. I'm going to get really healthy. I'm going to start exercising. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And I'm going to fall asleep, and I'm going to be able to sleep like I used to before menopause, where I slept from like 11 to 6 I was such a morning person. I want that back. It was really, really fun. So, but I'm keeping you guys involved in this journey of mine, because I know that you're struggling to get out of it to a better place in your own journey as well. So I'm going to be honest about what I'm going through. And this is one of the things that's been the hardest for me right now. But, you know, my house is intact. My windows aren't shattered in. The fires have not affected my home and my neighborhood and the people that are close to me. And I just say a prayer for everybody who has been affected by the fires here in California. Half the states was on fire, and I don't really know the state of them today, but I don't have the right to complain. And as I let go of that complaint, I'm sure it will shift and I can step into gratitude. So part of my program every day is to write down what I'm grateful for. And what I'm grateful for is that I'm still healthy enough to go through this process. I'm grateful that I have the love and support of my family and friends. I'm grateful for so many things, and grateful for the ability to send prayer and love to those who are struggling even worse than I am today with all that's going on in the world. Okay, so let's see. So your previous consciousness has created what you have now. Your future is not going to look any different until that consciousness changes. So our consciousness create our reality. Why? Because everything that we do think, believe, say, take action on, respond to, comes from that consciousness. So really rewriting your consciousness is how you're going to move from the life that you had to the charmed life that you want. And that's what we're going to do together. And we're going to do it. I wanted you guys to take your biggest struggle. If you can just do that one thing, take responsibility for it. That one thing. Somehow I have created this and I can recreate something different. And if you do that one thing, step one, take responsibility, whatever it is. Let's say it is something pretty significant, like this is going to be hard to hear for some people, and I really want you to understand that my compassion for the people that are struggling in what's going on in the world is enormous. But one of the things that my coach told me one time was that even the things that bad happened to me, like let's say as a little kid, I had a part in it, meaning my part was, one, that I was there, two, that I believe the lies. So let's say somebody abused me and told me something horrible about myself. And I was just a little kid, and in fact, up to the age of 4, you don't even have the presence of mind or consciousness to be able to combat anything that's been told to you. Little children believe everything that's said, and it can be very confusing for them when they have different people in their lives telling them different things, because they believe that and they believe that at 3 years old. It's very confusing. So, but it's still my consciousness that chose to believe it. I believed it, and I can rewrite it. So it's up to me to rewrite it. It's not up to the person who told me that to begin with to come back and tell me that it's different now. It's up to me to rewrite it. So that's my part in it. Wasn't my fault. This isn't about blame. This isn't about judgment. It's about power. It's about creativity. It's about your consciousness. It's about rewriting your consciousness. So if we can take the words wrong and right out of your dictionary, if we can take blame and guilt out of your dictionary and replace it with responsibility and creativity and understanding and compassion, you can rewrite anything that's already written. So that's what we need to do is to rewrite it. So, yeah, there you go. Ta-da! Now, I don't see any questions. Do we have any significant questions we want to answer?
No questions, but we have some suggestions for you.
Oh, good. I love suggestions. So, okay. Yep. A weighted blanket. Okay. Try a weighted blanket. Now, I'm not going to buck the system. I will try it. My issue is getting hot at night. So Linda says, so I'll try it. So I heard this thing about a weighted blanket that it makes you feel really comfortable and really snuggly, but I'll have to figure that out with the heat because I usually, Stephanie says she needs my birth info. It could help me sleep. Okay, great. I'm going to go for that. Stephanie, what do you need? You need my birth info. 9/21/65 at 12:15 p.m. No, 12:07, like almost high noon in Glendale, California. Should try some CBD. I tried that. Yep, I tried that. That didn't work. What happens with the CBD, and the CBD isn't so much, but I tried edibles and things like that. And I'm a psychic, and I know the show isn't really about that, but it opens up my window to spirit, and then they just start shouting at me and waking me up that way. So that didn't really work for me. It did relax me physically a little bit, but it also sort of opened me up a little bit too much. The second person that had a suggestion, what was that one?
CBD?
No, 2 times. It was a second. Acupuncture. Okay, I haven't tried that. I've tried it in the past, but I haven't tried it recently, so that's a good one. I was going to the chiropractor. That helped at first, and then it stopped helping, but maybe, okay. So Angie's had some crazy insomnia. Yeah, keeping things in perspective. And the other thing is that I have to forgive myself if there's there's some things that I can't do during the day that I used to be able to do. Like I did take an Uber because I was afraid to drive. I didn't want to drive when I was falling asleep. And I had to pay for it. And I just was like, you know what? It's just what I have to do right now. I don't want to crash my car. I don't want to hurt anybody, So, yeah. Well, thank you for that, Missy. I feel okay. Let's move on. Magnesium. Okay, meditation. I've done that. Magnesium. I did try for a while. I haven't tried it lately, but let me write that down. Magnesium. Okay, so great suggestions, guys. I have a response for that, but I don't know how family friendly it is. That one suggestion back there. Oh man. Well, you guys are great with your suggestions. And okay. Me too. Insomnia is all about my menopause. See, mine too. It started with menopause. I feel like I'm not really experiencing the hot flashes. A lot of my symptoms of menopause are gone away. But this one, Maca hormone balancer. Okay. Haven't tried that one. See, when you get real and reach out for help, you get help, right? Hormone balancer. Now I'll bet I could get that online. That's great. I don't see the clock on here either, Lisa. Do you know what time it is?
It's 7:06.
Okay. Great suggestions. Thank you. I'm going to continue to work with some of these suggestions. I don't know if I can do the weighted blanket thing because I get claustrophobic and I get really hot. And I always say my best workout is during the night because I flip-flop all over the bed. I used to sleep, instead of turning over like this from right to left, I would wake up at the foot of my bed. This was before the insomnia. I would wake up at the foot of my bed and I'd be like, how did I get down here? I even had my pillow with me. And then one night I woke up in the middle of the transition and I was literally sitting on the edge of my bed with my pillow, transferring it to the other side of my head at the foot of my bed, throwing off all the covers. I mean, I do flip-flops all night long and I get a great workout. So I don't know about the weighted blanket, but I'm going to try these other things. And if they don't help, I'll be willing to try it. I don't know. It's my brain. And I've told all the spirits to leave. There's no spirit energy around me at night. There was in this house. So this isn't my home. This is my dream kitchen, which isn't that beautiful? But in my house, the reason I moved in that house is because there's a lot of spirit activity. And I know that my bedroom is very active. So I've cleared that out. Right now I'm staying at my niece's and it's like flat activity, like hardly anything. So I don't think it's the activity in the room. So we shall see. The other thing I want you guys to share your journey with me. So you can email, our little group our Facebook group is Mastering the Charmed Life on Facebook. And it's where everybody struggles with something. And you really can have a charmed life in spite of the fact that you're struggling and working toward an even more charming life. So we've created this Facebook group so that you guys can support me, I can support you, and we can support each other in mastering your charmed life. So share your stories, share your suggestions with each other. Let's support each other in doing this. Let's know that, we are not alone. If we were meant to do it alone, we'd each have our own planet, and that it's okay that we are where we're at. It's okay. One of the things, if you're a mom and you have young kids in the house, I get that. Some of my most depressing days were when my daughter was little and I could just, get through the day without taking it out on her or without neglecting her in any way was a struggle. A friend of mine would call and she'd say, hey, let's take the kids to the beach. And I would just be like, what? Are you kidding me? I can barely get out of bed, much less have the thought of putting a bag of beach stuff together and getting my kid. Oh, that was just overwhelming to me. And instead of saying no, I would tell my friend, that just sounds overwhelming to me. I don't even know how to get myself from here to there and back. And because I would share that with her, she'd say, I will help you. And she came over and she's like, here, Kelly, all you have to do is find your bathing suit and put your shorts on. That's all you have to do. And she'd go around my house and she'd find our beach bag and she'd put towels in it. She'd put lotion in it. She'd go in my fridge, get a snack. She helped me out with everything just so I could get out the door and go to the beach. And once I was there in the sunshine and the water and the sand, it was like it fed my soul. And yeah, I would come back exhausted, but it was like, if you don't ask for help, you're not going to get it. And if you're so ashamed at the state of mind that you're in and the struggle that you're going through that you're not even willing to share it. And this is where I've been the last few years. I didn't want people to know exactly how bad the struggle was, the depression was, because I'm supposed to be the one who's got it together and sharing everybody with everybody else. That's why I decided to do this with you guys, because I got to be real, or else I have nothing to share with you if I can't be real. So if you can share it with somebody, you'll get the help and support that you need. And together, we're just going to go like this. We're just going to bring each other up, more and more each and every day. And forgive yourself and love yourself. Accept yourself exactly where you're at. This isn't the end. It's a journey. Let's help each other through it. So we're going to do all kinds of fun stuff in this. And little by little, it's all coming together. Let's see. There's one other thing I wanted to share. As far as what's going on the planet, I don't share anything politically because that's my business and your politics are yours. But what I would like to share is that I believe that things are happening so that we can come together, and we can come together as one human race and one species to help and love and support each other. And I think that we're going to be experiencing a lot of things on this planet until we learn that lesson. And so I'm just sending love and light out to everybody there who's going through struggle, who's in parts of the world that are worse off than we, who are confused and scared and struggling and depressed. And I'm just sending you guys love. And I'm asking everybody watching this to do the same. And let's just love each other through it. What could be the harm? So check out our Mastering the Charmed Life Facebook page. I think that'll really help yourselves and each other just be there for each other. So let's come together as a people and help and love and support each other. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Any other questions or suggestions? We will see you next week, where hopefully we'll have a very cool cooking segment for you. If not, we'll have another fun thing to do. So there are some really cool people I'll be interviewing coming up. One of them is a master chef of clean and holistic food. Very funny guy. His name is Tom. He's, he's a good cook. But he also, he does a lot of other cool stuff as well. If you have suggestions of things you would like us to share on this program, if you've had some successes in creating something very charming and wonderful in your life, and you would like to share that, again, on the Facebook page, and maybe we'll interview you or bring you on the show. But we've got a lot of cool ideas and cool stuff coming up. So I'm going to let you guys go for tonight. We'll see you next week. Thank you for joining me on Mastering the Charmed Life with Kelly McClure. Have a fantastic week and be easy on yourself. Love yourself today. Thank you, guys. See you next week. Bye.